Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Alex, the Comic Order. Thank you so much for clicking play on this video. I've got a haul for you. Hopefully you really enjoy this haul. And then I've also got a rant for you guys. This is in response to a couple comments that were on a video recently about the 5 books that I would buy for my own collection out of the Copper Age. These are like must-owns for me. And hopefully you guys will indulge me for a little bit about that. It's a little advice on comic collecting the way I see it. So hopefully you guys are ready. Here we go. This video is sponsored by Shortbox app. It's the easiest and safest way to buy and sell graded comic books online. There is a link in the description below for Apple and Android users. Download that app using the link today. It lets them know that I sent you. You guys will not be sorry. They upload new amazing books every single day. So go to the link in the description below and download the app today. So let's start off with the haul books and then we'll go into the rant at the very end. The first place that I went is a place called Destination Toy. It's in Jacksonville, Illinois. I was there on business and I went because I knew there was a vintage toy shop in town and they had some comic books. So I knew comic was kind of like a tertiary thing for them and they would be selling toys mostly, but he just took in a collection of Thor. And so there was a ton of Bronze Age Thor and then there were a couple Silver Age Thor. The first one that I picked up, this is all Jack Kirby goodness. First one is Thor 152. These books look really, really nice. And then you look very, very closely and there is a tape pull. I did count the pages. So there is a tape pull right there, as you can see. And that does greatly affect the grade and the eye appeal. But honestly, it does look great like this. These are stories about Donald Blake, so the alter ego of Thor. It's kind of like the Clark Kent of Thor. So that's the first one. Really nice condition. Thor number 152. And then this cover looks awesome too. This is kind of one of those ones that you have to look at to see what's going on because all red. So you've got Thor but Dr. Blake can die. So looks like Loki's after Dr. Blake. So really, really cool book. This is the next issue number 153. I think the issues before this, or maybe like 150, is the origin of the Inhumans, and it's a cover appearance of Hela. And then the next issue after this is a really classic, iconic Thor cover, 154, and it's the first appearance of Mangog. So really great books. Happy to have these. I paid $10 a piece at Destination Toy, and this one and that one, I couldn't complain. Great books. And definitely love all the Jack Kirby artwork on those. Those are so cool. Then I went into another pawn shop, you guys, and I thought I found a great deal, but it turned out to be, it's a great deal if I got this graded. It's a pretty even standard fair market value in the condition that I bought it in at the pawn shop. So I was in the pawn shop locally and I looked at their display case and I saw a stack of comic books. They had some Bronze Age comic books, and then I was flipping through and the very, very last book was a book that I've been looking for a long time. I did not want to buy this book off eBay or the first issue either, and you'll know what I'm talking about in just a second. But I wanted to find one in the wild while hunting, and I finally did, and I paid $35 for it. It's the Free Comic Book Day, The Umbrella Academy, and it's the first appearance of the Murder Magician. It's also the first appearance of all of the Umbrella Academy. It's a Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance story. And so very, very happy to finally find this. I think $35, that's what I paid for it. I think I got a little bit of a discount, 10% discount. I got paid like $32 maybe. I think that is pretty much fair market value for a pretty near mint copy. This one has a few spine ticks, and so I'd call this a 9.4. And either way, I'm super happy. I did not want to look for this book. I love the series Umbrella Academy, and it's one of those things where it's like I missed the boat on buying it. I knew it was out there because I've always liked My Chemical Romance and Gerard Way. So I'm just so happy now that I got the Umbrella Academy Free Comic Book Day, first appearance of everybody. So yeah. Really, really great stuff. All right, and the last one completes the 5 books that I must buy or I must have in the Copper Age. And I'm truthful about that. And I'll get into the rant in just a second. I was on Instagram, and there's a somewhat local to me guy called That Comic Book Guy, Sean, and I really like his stuff. I don't think I've ever bought anything from him, but I always like to look at what he's got available, and I know we kind of have the same stomping grounds. So if he gets a book and shows it off, I'm like, hey, did you get that at this place? and he'll like in a DM like confirm like, yes, I did, or no, I didn't. Great guy, great Instagrammer. I messaged him about a couple books that I was looking for, and he instantly got back to me with pictures of what he had in stock and packaged it very, very nicely and got it to me very, very quickly. So I'm very happy about getting this book. And if you remember, there was one book that I didn't have in my top 5 must-have books of the Copper Age. And so here is that book in just a few seconds. All right, so the book that I got from that comic book guy on Instagram is Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 8, and this is a beautiful near mint copy. There's one little thing that can be pressed out like right here. There are 0 spine ticks. There's one little like binary tear on that corner right there. But other than that, this book really is a contender at a 9.6 or 9.8. I don't know if I didn't even try to like brush that down or anything like that to see if it could be improved. But either way, this one completes the 5 books that I must have in my collection for the Copper Age. And I brought the rest of them with me to show you guys. I'm going to be building a wall in my office. I have some of my older videos are in my comic book room, and you can see there's like the shelving in the background, or like the grates in the background that you flip sideways and they become like comic book display shelves. I want to build like an amazing like Copper Age wall there. I brought the 5 books that I must have. These are like the foundational Copper Age books for me. And then I'm going to get into my rant. So you've got Secret Wars number 8. You've got First Appearance of Venom, Amazing Spider-Man 300. You've got the New Mutants 87, First Appearance of Cable. And you've got the Uncanny X-Men 266, First Appearance of Gambit. And then you've got the New Mutants 98, First Appearance of Deadpool. So these are kind of like the foundational books for the Copper Age for me. Now, of course, the king of the Copper Age is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1. That's the most expensive book in I've been pricing them out in 8.0. That book is $24,000 fair market value. So these are really special books. These are very, very plentiful books, but these are books that I love, that I want to have in my collection, especially for Copper Age books. I remember, collecting these books, looking at these books when I was younger, especially Uncanny 266 was like a dream book of mine. And then, of course, the First Appearance of Cable was also another dream book. I never really yearned after the First Appearance of Deadpool in the 90s, but also Amazing Spider-Man 300. All books that were just so cool to me when I was younger, and that's why I want to have them. So the rant is, I was getting comments about, hey, wow, you really picked the most obvious books to have your must-buy or must-own books of the Copper Age. Like, why don't you? And then these were some more like innocent ones. Like, can you do videos on the undervalued spec books, or the ones that still have room to grow? Because these ones maybe right now tapped out. Of course, if Deadpool gets in the MCU, Ryan Reynolds in the MCU, that's gonna explode. I don't know if there's much more room, because there was like $3,000 to $5,000 for a 9.8 of Amazing Spider-Man 300. This of course has plenty of room to go. This one is kind of pretty high now as well. And then Uncanny 266 I think has room to grow as well. If they introduce Gambit into the MCU, oh my gosh, good night. But my rant is, when people talk about, boy, you for the Copper Age, the must-have, must-buys, you really pick the most obvious ones. Duh. Like, yeah, I'm picking the most obvious ones. My advice to you guys is, if you are looking through think about when you're looking through a short box or a collection. Somebody has like, I got these books and I want a ton of money for them. I want $700 for this short box of comics. These are my childhood collection. And you're sifting through and you're like, okay, well, there's, First Appearance of Gambit. There is the origin of the symbiote costume. There is, New Mutants 87. Oh my gosh, he's got 300. And seal the deal. I'm paying the $700 or whatever, because he's got New Mutants 98. If you have these books as your foundation of your collection, people are going to view your collection as, wow, that's pretty darn valuable, especially if you know what these books are. If you have the hot flash in the pan book of the week in your collection, like a short box full of those, like, people aren't going to really, like, me personally as a buyer, I'm going to say, wow, those are cool books. You know, that spec didn't pan out. I'm really doubtful that this spec will pan out. That's a villain, so as soon as that villain gets killed in the MCU, that book's going to be a nothing book. So what I'm saying in my video and in my advice is, if you're looking at building a collection, like a more modern collection, build them off of books like this. Because if these were the only 5 books in my collection, you guys would probably say, or I'd get a lot of comments like, hey, pretty cool collection. I respect the collection. There are some really cool books in here. There's guys who have like a short box, but it's full of things like this. And you're like, wow, those are really, really cool books. What a great way to collect. I mean, you're picking just like the awesome, awesome books. Now there's run collectors. I'm not talking about run collectors. There's people who read the comics. Awesome. I read comic books too. I love reading. I'm going to read those two later today, and probably that Umbrella Academy too. And then Amazing Spider-Man, John Romita Jr. I'm going to be reading that as well. But what I'm saying is just build your collection off of sound books like this. Now you don't have to pay full freaking fair market value. Find deals like I do. Like just go out and hunt and find deals, negotiate, and see what books you can get. But if you're buying like the hot flash in the pan, which is fine, I'm really appreciative of those channels who do like hot 10 best-selling brand new comic books of the week. I'm appreciative of those because it helps educate me on like what's new, what's out there, what's selling really well. Because if I've got it, or if I find it in the dollar bin, I'll probably pick it up. I'm talking about foundational books. These are the must-have books. So I'm going to continue in that series. The next video I do will probably be the next 5 must-have Marvel books in the Copper Age. So, or I'm going to just put 5 must-have Marvel books in the Copper Age and do 5 more, like the next 5 that I want to put on my wall. And I'll be building that wall. So hopefully maybe I'll do the video in that room and show you guys how the wall is progressing. So hopefully you guys are well. Hopefully that didn't sting too bad, or you guys like don't hate me or anything like that for saying those things. But it's just one of those things where I don't want to build my collection around hot flash in the pan. I love those books, trust me. Like I'll go out, and if I watch a certain video that says these are the hottest books on the planet right now, and I find one in the dollar bin or for $5, and I know like, hey, this book's going for $80 right now, of course I'm gonna buy it. I love watching those videos because they educate me. But my advice is watch those videos, get educated, go out and hunt, and then build your collection around books like this that are tried and true, that will stay valuable for all time, will have respect for a long, long time. It doesn't matter if Deadpool does not show up in the MCU. This will always be a cool book to collectors. Doesn't matter if Gambit doesn't show up. This will always be a cool book to collectors. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're brand new to the channel, hit that subscription button, hit that bell to be notified when there's future videos. Also hit a thumbs up, you guys. Really do appreciate it. And comment down below what you thought of this haul and what you guys think about collecting, as far as like what's your foundation of your collection. Are you a hot flash in the pan? Are you a new comic book collector? Which is great. I love all sorts of collecting. Let's keep it cordial in the comments, and I will talk to you all on the next one. See ya. Bye.